Kevin Fagan spent over 30 years reporting on society's hardest truths, but homelessness was never just a story to him. Before working for the San Francisco Chronicle, the BBC, and beyond, he experienced poverty and homelessness himself, from childhood through college. That lived experience shaped a career and a calling, culminating in his book, The Lost and the Found, about two unhoused people he helped get off the streets with the help from their families. Kevin brings rare insight, compassion, and hard-earned clarity to this complex issue.
As a reporter, you get the luxury of digging into whatever you want to dig into, if you can swing the beat. So I just found from the get-go, writing about why people wind up homeless, why people wind up without money. They make bad choices, there's bad fate. There's a whole complex matrix that sends people into poverty and street life. And I just made that my passion. I covered murder and disasters and crime of many kinds also, but homelessness was always my number one priority. Once I dug into my career fully, I wasn't poor anymore. And I managed to make a really good living out of being a newspaper guy for decades. I got a family, a life I really couldn't have envisioned when I was a kid. I started working when I was 12 and I got tossed out of the house when I was 16. I had a limited horizon that I could see. I just wanted to have a roof and enough food to eat. And to be able to exceed that, I still gotta pinch myself sometimes. When I find I have money in my wallet, it still gives me this little bit of glee. That stuff never leaves you. When you've really been hungry and you haven't had a place to live, it never leaves you.
People sometimes dismiss chronically unhoused people they see on the streets as unworthy of empathy or impossible to help. But while those living on the street may have more complex needs, Kevin knows that dignity is not an offer for the deserving, but an inherent right.
I specialize in chronically homeless folks because those are the ones most in need. And when I talk to them, I can feel that this was somebody's baby at some point. They had a future. They had possibilities. Things went wrong in many different ways, and that's what led them to where they are. But that kid, that baby, that person with hope is always inside there. That's who I try to connect with.
Helping chronically homeless people can be especially challenging. Many need rapid assistance, mental health care, or addiction support to maintain housing. Yet understaffing and budget cuts make that work even harder.
Services, rehab for drug addiction and mental illness, outpatient and even inpatient for substance abuse, that should be available on demand. The waiting list is too long for a lot of people. And especially when you're dealing with chronically homeless people, they don't want to be on a waiting list. They don't do appointments well. You tell some person living in a tent on Turk Street in San Francisco, oh, come back next week and we'll find you a slot, or come back 3 days from now and we'll fill out your paperwork. Chances are you're not going to see them again. They're too busy with their survival routine. You got to find a place to sleep where your teeth won't get kicked in. You got to get your food, your clothing if you need that, tent, supplies. It's an endless cycle. Your days are full. It's hard work being homeless, especially chronically homeless.
Despite the challenges, chronically unhoused people want better lives, even if they are struggling and need more assistance to achieve stability. Everyone deserves to have their basic needs met and to be treated with dignity.
One of the most joyful things is to talk to someone who was chronically homeless and to talk to them once they've stabilized and moved inside and have a healthy life. It's wonderful. And they say, what the hell was I doing? Or, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not being there anymore. That's that's the honest answer.